Hey, my name is Roman Asbill, and this is my personal Pentecost story. I grew up Protestant. I did not grow up in the Catholic Church. I came into the Catholic Church Pentecost of 2020, so I'm a 2020 COVID Catholic. But my personal Pentecost story happened when I was 23 years old, and it happened after a long series of unfortunate events. See, I already knew Christ. He had already came into my life, and he'd already wrecked me in a good way. But I had run from him. I had events in my life that caused me to get mad at God instead of myself, which is where the blame squarely rested, was on these shoulders. But instead of accepting responsibility, I turned all that on Christ and ran as fast away from him as I could. Again, after a long series of unfortunate events, I found myself staring down the barrel of a loaded .44. I had put one bullet in the chamber, spun it, clipped it shut, and stuck it to my head. And I came to my senses. I put the gun down, and I was like, "What are you doing? Huh? What are we doing?" I put the gun down, and I just said, "Jesus, I believe in you." And I said, "I'll follow you wherever you want to go. I'll give you 30 days. Now, I do not suggest that, but it's my story. And it didn't seem to scare Jesus. I guess he thought, well, I'm up to the challenge. I think I can pretty much trounce everything that you've been in. I started on this journey, and for 1 year, the Lord completely wrecked my life. My best friend and I had moved in together. He had gone off to the Air Force, and then he came back from the Air Force, and he had had a pretty radical coming to Christ at the end of his Air Force experience. And so he was working on me and trying to lead me back into walking with the Lord. And the Lord completely wrecked our lives for that year. I remember sitting and just playing and worshiping music with my roommate. And we would play guitars, and I remember this one time we played for like an hour. And after that hour, man, it's like the presence of God was so thick in the room. We just kind of stopped playing, and we just looked at each other, and I was like, whew. And he was like, "I know." And I was like, "Man, I feel like I'm underwater." And he was like, "Yeah." Just the presence of God was so thick. That was one experience. Another time, we were in our house, and we heard that a storm was coming through. I lived in East Texas, and so these thunderstorms would just pop up out of nowhere. And so this one popped up, and it brought like ping pong size hail. And so this ping pong size hail came, and it was like blam, and it was just pouring hail and thunder and lightning. And so we ran downstairs from our apartment, and we looked, and I was expecting to see my truck and his car, all beat to heck from all this hail. And the car on this side was beat up, and then there was my car, not one hail dent in it. Then the other car, and it was beat up, and then my friend's truck, no hail on it at all whatsoever. And we were just like, oh my gosh, and we like just started laughing. And everybody else started coming out of the apartments, and they were like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Why are you laughing? Our cars are getting beat to heck." And I was like, "Yours are, but mine isn't." But events like that happened over and over, where I would just be reading the Word or worshiping God, and just His Spirit would just overwhelm me to the point that I would be in tears or on the floor, and just raptured, just encapsulated by His love. And then after a year, it like went away, it lifted. And I thought, man, what have I done? Have I offended you, Lord? And I wanted that so much. And I felt like the Lord told me, was like, "Roman, I picked you up, and I placed you over here in the future where this is what your life could be like. Now I'm going to pick you back up, and I'm going to set you back down in the circumstances that you were in when you came back to me. And you're going to have to walk this journey out. So this is what it can be like. Now follow me." He has blown my mind in so many ways. And I've tasted His love. I've tasted of His power and His authority. I have experienced the love of Christ at depths that I can't even wrap my head around. And when you have an experience like that, there's no drug, sex, or rock and roll that can even come close. You won't chase anything else when you've experienced that. I heard a preacher say one time, if you want to have a true and lasting relationship with the Holy Spirit, let the purity of the gospel penetrate you as far as the pollution of your sin. And I just want to encourage you guys, come and see. Come follow. Come and see.